Drugs. See your girl in the park. System overload.
This is Sean O'Malley. You're watching Full Time MMA. Don't be a bagel biting bagel bitch boy, bagel bitch back.
It was muted. Yeah, I caught it early. Caught it way earlier than usual. What is going on, full-time family? Let's see. What is this? This let's get this fixed. Bada boom, bada bang. We are in the game. All right. About time to start the show. Top of the morning to the family. MMA fans out there. Fellow friends. Hope everybody's having a great start to their, to Tuesday today? It is November 20th, Tuesday. We're about to talk about some current events and upcoming fights in MMA. And you guys, we got a special twist. We're going to talk a little boxing at the end of the show. We've came a long way, full-time family. We've came a long way. I see the family already in the building. So let me give some shout outs to the people here in attendance early to this somewhat short notice stream. With the work I've had the last few days, I've had less time and shit to really prepare for the shows as well as because I haven't known my exact schedule for these last few days. So we'll probably be live for about 60 to 90 minutes today. Got a few things to talk about unless we get sidetracked and have like a 30-minute conversation on Eminem versus MGK. Yo, I literally changed the title of the video yesterday to I put Eminem at the end and Eminem. Hilarious. But yeah, let's pull up the chat, see who's in here from the full-time family. Let's see, pull that over here. We got Pinhead in the building. What's going on, Pinhead? Weezing336. He said, why is Floyd fighting Ellen DeGeneres? I didn't know he was. I thought he was fighting Tenshin Nasukawa. Mr. Perfect 2005 said, okay, here we go, fam. What's going on, Wolf Martin? Pinhead says, a little bit off topic, but Wilder versus Fury. Who you got? I got Fury. That's a good, might be Fury, man. I don't know as much about boxing, but I hear what you're coming from. Wilder, just from a little bit of what I've picked up, I know Fury, he's been, like they say, on the couch. He's been away for a couple of years, right? And Wilder's been a lot more active, but still, I think it's going to be a really close fight. I really can't call it for one. I'm not a boxing guy all the way, like a hardcore boxing fan. My early prediction, I guess Fury, just to be a contrarian, but I think it'll actually be a really close fight. I don't know who's going to win, honestly, but I think it's going to be a competitive fight because I feel like from what I do know, Tyson Fury, who was able to beat Klitschko's probably, and he's been boxing longer than Wilder. From what I've heard, Wilder hasn't been boxing as long, but he's still a beast. I might give the edge to Fury, but I think it'll be a close fight. One I'll actually be watching as an MMA fan, though. I'll tell you that much. Lucian Hill says Brandon Vera is about to defend that strap against some killer over in One. Yo, check out One fighting this Friday, says Lucian Hill. I have to check that out. One fighting this Friday. Let me pull up One. You know what the card name is? Brandon Vera 1. That should pop it up. Main event feature, Vera versus Cirilli. Oh shit, this is a YouTube video. I'm looking for like an article or something we can pull up. Here we go. He intends to finish Mauro Cirilli in Manila. Pinhead says Fury too technical for Wilder. MMA Addicts RIP 69 Test My Gangster Tour canceled. Oh yeah, canceled. Motherfucking crazy shit going on that whole front. I've been listening to some of the videos and stuff on that situation. Craziness. What was the most recent news? They said there's some crazy stuff going on, but we're not getting sidetracked into a 30-minute hip-hop conversation, so I'll digress. One championship. Brandon Vera intends to finish Mauro Cirilli in Manila. I really don't do promo stuff. Just watch the fight and enjoy, because I don't win by points. That's not my style. I'll be going for the finish. We might have to watch One. Oh, it's probably going to be... We might have to check it out. If we're up early enough, it'll probably... I don't know the timing, but I'm assuming it's going to be crazy timing. Like 4 in the morning or some shit. Probably like that. Let me see. I probably won't even be in here. After nearly 2 years since his last title defense, the Filipino-American superstar is scheduled to return to the One Championship cage Friday, 23rd in November. 2 years since his last title defense? I'm trying to make that make sense. I wonder what's been... Has he been the champion, Brandon, for 2 years and just like not fighting or something? Let me see, Brandon Vera. Let's check out his last fight. Yeah, that's interesting. So he's been the champion. He won the belt, I guess, maybe in 2016. And then he's knocked everybody fucking out in the first round over here. Holy shit. Punch and soccer kicks, punch and head kicks. They got soccer kicks in one? Oh shit, maybe to the body or something. Let's see. Brandon Vera versus Mauro Cirilli. Okay. Mauro Cirilli 12-2, not fucking around. Fighting out of Italy. Coming in here on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fight winning streak. Okay, we got some heat coming up this Friday. You said also, you said something else. Foying versus Khan for the lightweight title too. That's a great fight. Let's check out the entire fight card. Foying versus Amir Khan. Why does that sound like a boxer? Is there a boxer named like Amir Khan, or am I tripping? What's his name? Something Khan. I know that. K. Murphy in the building. What up, full time? What's going on? I'm telling you, this fight weekend is going to be amazing, and one is kicking it off. Yo, I'm not the... You're preaching to the choir. Every fight weekend is amazing for me. It don't matter what card you're watching. If you're just looking for the fights, it's going to be exciting stuff all the way throughout the night. I mean, a different variety of finishes, good fights, maybe a couple slow fights. Like, MMA always delivers, in my opinion, so I hear you. Amir Khan is an English boxer. Yeah. So he's a little different. This is the MMA Amir Khan. Okay. Hell yeah, man. Had to see when the fight. Do you know what time, by any chance, Lucien Hella? What time this fight card starts? Like Eastern Standard Time, potentially. It'd be interesting to find out. But yeah, we got a few things to talk about. Let's see. Khabib Nurmagomedov's father says his son would rematch Conor McGregor in boxing. What do you guys think about this madness? I mean, at first I was like, yeah, I don't know about this. But now I'm like, hey, this actually, and this is what this would be like a super competitive celebrity boxing match. That's essentially what this would be. You know, way more competitive, way more skill than Logan Paul versus fucking KSI or Jake Paul or Paul Logan. That was so funny. It would be that's what it is to me. Both of these guys are amateurs boxing, but now they'll be boxing each other. So hey, people will watch, and I'm telling you, I actually really fucking like this idea. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, would I rather see him fight in MMA? Sure, not immediately. If the rematch was going to be immediately, I would like to see it in boxing. And now, if you're a boxing purist and you just want to see technical skill, that's not what you're watching this for. You're watching this for the same reason you watched Mayweather versus McGregor. It's a show. It's a spectacle. Both of these guys do have some skills. Of course, you might, and I even would. I would say, of course, initially you might count out Khabib. Yeah, I still would. I would. Yeah, Conor would probably fuck Khabib up boxing. You know why? Because when you're fighting a guy in MMA, you know, because people will say, well, look, Khabib outboxed Conor in the octagon. He even dropped him. Floyd didn't even drop Conor. And you got a great point there. But it's just way different. And this is actually why Amanda, who was it? Not Amanda Bobby Cooper. Yeah, she just fought Ashley Yoder over the weekend. But when she fought Mackenzie Dern, you know, a lot of people gave her shit because she got dropped. Like, you got dropped by Mackenzie Dern. And it's MMA. You got to think about this shit. And it doesn't matter if it's Mackenzie Dern. It doesn't matter if it's Colby Covington. It can be a wrestler. It could be Khabib. It doesn't matter. They're always is a potential that they're going to drop you, even if you're the way better striker. You know why? Because you being the striker have to be always preparing for the takedown in MMA. You've always got to be prepared for that takedown. You can't get overzealous and just start throwing punches and kicks. They're going to take your ass down. That's why you see people get dropped by these grapplers. Because when you're fighting these grapplers, you got to keep your hands lower to prepare for the takedown, to prepare to get the underhook, sprawl, whatever you need to do to defend the takedown. And so you got to keep your hands lower against these guys, and that's usually why they come over the top with the right hand. That's why wrestlers with overhand rights have had so much success, because people are always worried about the takedown. They keep their hands low. You come over the top, their hands are low because they're waiting for the takedown, and you knock them down. And now that's why I say in boxing, McGregor versus Khabib's going completely different. Is McGregor going to knock him out? I don't know. Probably. I mean, I don't know if he can do it before the end of the fight. And that's another thing. Can Khabib take over? Like, oh, shit, you guys, it could be so fucking epic. If it was like a 12-round boxing fight, right? What if it got to the 10th round and McGregor ran out of gas? And even though McGregor was outboxing Khabib, like he's probably will, now he's out of gas. What if Khabib like goes for the finish? You know what I'm saying? You're out of gas. There's only so much defense you can have. You really have to conserve your energy in the fight. I think McGregor would probably fight that way smarter and just pick Khabib apart slowly in that fight. And I think McGregor would actually have a great chance of winning the boxing match because he doesn't always have to have his hands down worrying about that takedown. So in a boxing match, he's going to get to showcase his superior hands. His hands aren't going to be down. He's not going to be trying to defend any takedowns, so he's going to be able to do whatever he wants in there against Khabib. So I actually like the idea because I think it would be competitive for a spectacle. You know, way more competitive than McGregor versus Mayweather. Way more competitive than Logan Paul versus fucking KSI. I would love to see this. It would actually be super interesting. I think McGregor would definitely win, but this is actually, I think, a pretty fucking brilliant idea. That'll be fucking super interesting. So yeah, man. Some news from Khabib's father, and I like it. Also, some more news from Khabib's father. He says he still wants Khabib to fight George St. Pierre. You know, there's been talks of Khabib versus GSP, two of the best grapplers in UFC history, honestly, lightweight and welterweight. And there's also been a lot of talks recently about a 165-pound division opening up, and what would be a better way to kick it off than some GOAT versus GOAT shit. And I got this on the show, and it wasn't even for this. You guys are going to see why. You guys hear it? Let me get some headphones. You guys are like, why the fuck is he got goat sounds on here? Yeah, I'm supposed to just do the sounds. I'm going to hide that part. You can't see the goats. That thing that you hear sounding fucking annoying as fuck is a goat, you guys. And we're going to need that for today's show. Not for this topic, but actually, I guess it fits. But with that being said, Khabib Nurmagomedov versus George St. Pierre. We've seen GSP potentially doing a test weight cut. I mean, it looks like he was thinning out, leading up to the Khabib versus McGregor fight. Maybe gearing up for a lightweight, showdown with either the winner of McGregor and Khabib. So there's been talks of this fight happening at lightweight. There's been talks of, and when I say talks, I mean speculation by the fans and, talks just by people, pretty much fans, maybe some media as well, but nothing concrete, not really any UFCs offering GSP and Khabib fights to our knowledge, just speculation. But either way, it could be 155, 165 with a new division. That'd be a great fight though, or even 170 if Khabib wants to go up. But 170 is probably the least likely because, of course, Woodley's the champ there, so it wouldn't be for a belt at all. So probably 155 or 165, but still be a huge fight, honestly. And he said, this is exactly the opposition I have always dreamed of. St. Pierre defended the championship belt 9 times and became the best in 2 weight categories. We even go to the battle with St. Pierre at an intermediate weight of 74 kilos, 163. How about 165? Just make it, and he said, or 75 kilos, 165, of course. If St. Pierre would be comfortable with this weight, even perhaps let's go to the category of, hey, dog, we're not going to be doing the squeaky toy while I'm live. No, we ain't. You gonna take that shit downstairs, homie. Even perhaps let's go to the category of 170 and fight with him at the limit of welterweight, although this is not our weight category. So he's saying 165 or 170, Khabib's open to it. Now, I mean, shoot, at 170, I'm honestly giving the edge to GSP just on my mind. I'm just saying, okay, two of these guys, both of them, dominant grapplers, but actually George St. Pierre a lot more well-rounded. He's definitely got some great striking as well. And then when I say great, I'm not saying like world class, even though, he's definitely one of the best fighters in the world. But I'm saying like in terms of comparing Khabib to GSP, I would definitely give GSP, he's got better striking. So with that being said, also he's got the size. And so essentially, in my mind, always, if I'm looking at a guy like a grappler versus a grappler, I'm usually going to go with the bigger guy. You know what I'm saying? If you're going, if you know any wrestlers, or if you've ever been to a wrestling meet or anything like that, if there's weight divisions for a reason, if you're going to see, you're not going to see a 165-pound wrestler wrestling a fucking 185-pound wrestler. And if you do, most of the time the 185-pound wrestler is going to win. More size to use and control you with, if the skills are equal. So that's why I would give an edge to GSP, especially at 170. Now 165, I feel like the lower the weight goes, the more it starts to kind of even things out for me. 155, I'm like, yo, we've never even seen GSP at this weight. We know Khabib's a beast here, so like I'm really like, fuck, that's almost a toss-up for me. 165, I'm still like, okay, let's see what's going on here. 170, I'm like, okay, let's see if Khabib can do it. I got GSP though. So I still think it'd be an epic fight if it does happen. Of course, we will see. A lot of options for Khabib. Honestly, used to be McGregor that's got all the options. Now Khabib's got all the options. Khabib could box McGregor, box Mayweather, fight GSP. He could fight, of course, Tony Ferguson, probably even Dustin Poirier, Tyron Woodley, probably if he wanted to. There's all type of options for Khabib. He could retire. There's another option. He could literally do whatever he wants at this point. And if the GSP fight materializes, that'd be a big one too. So we will see. Speaking of the 165-pound division, new UFC signee, tradee, I don't even know what the fuck you call him. I mean, because he was just recently traded to the UFC, but he's already, so yeah, I guess new signee, whatever. They didn't just like sign him off of waivers or nothing like that though. So either way, Ben Askren's making his case for the 165-pound division in the UFC. He said, I think everyone wants it. I think it provides from a business opportunity, not for me as a fighter. If I'm looking at it from a business opportunity, you now have, and they're talking about doing away with the flyweights, but you now have an extra belt, right? The other thing is, it provides a lot of chances for super fight opportunities. I mean, how many times have we had a sitting champion at one of those weight classes, 55, 70, or 85, go to fight another one? I think the answer is 0. You guys can go ahead and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the answer is 0. And so I think you change to 55, 65, 75, 85. Man, that's a lot easier to move around. And I just feel like for myself, I'm a 70-pounder. I can make 55. I can't do it. He said I can't. I made 163 for the Olympics. I can't go lower than that. 185, I'm tiny up there, so I'm stuck. And that's a 30-pound gap, so it's not like a small gap. Now you got 65 and 75, and I can make both of those, and you'd have a Kelvin Gastelum could probably make 75 and 85. Khabib, 55, 65. So you'd have more of these super fights, more interdivisional stuff, which is good. Now, that for me is still up in the air because I agree. It seems good, but the thing that I just am still waiting to see how it plays out, if these divisions do get opened up, is one of the things we do see with these super fights is log-jammed divisions, right? So for me, I'm just thinking, for the Tony Fergusons and the Dustin Poiriers, could you imagine if now Khabib had the 165-pound division to, all right, well, because we know both of those guys easily deserve a title shot. Easily. And you don't like to use the word deserve, but those guys do, and they're in the same division. I mean, Tony Ferguson, Dustin Poirier, they both put in massive work to get to the title shot, but the division has been so log-jammed between McGregor and now Khabib, who might box, who might fight MMA. And now my thought is, so if you add these new divisions, well, then for sure I could see Khabib for sure going up to fight at 165. GSP, Askren, McGregor, any of that. So then the thought for me is, what about the division? What about Ferguson and the Poirier? Like, so these guys will, in my mind, never get a title shot. Like, it'd be probably years or something. And I don't know if that's, I'm not a big enough, I haven't watched boxing long enough or a big enough fan to really know if that's I don't know how their divisions work out I don't even know how their weight classes work out, honestly, how many they got. But I'm just saying, like, I'm thinking about the Tony Fergusons and the Dustin Poiriers. Like, if 165 was there, and just for anybody that's a top contender, a Stipe Miocic, I mean, what if there was a 225 division? When do you think he's getting a title shot? For sure he's going to be fighting Brock, then Jones, and then, like, just any of these top contenders that are having a hard time getting back to the title, it seems like it would be even harder if now your champion's got another option to go to a closer weight class. So that's my only kind of pullback, is like what goes on with the division and the Tony Fergusons and the Dustin Poiriers of the world. But other than that, I agree. I mean, definitely, there's a lot more parity. It's definitely with your champions. Now Khabib or Woodley or Gastelum or even some of the fighters in the divisions would benefit from the 165-pound weight class, like the Masvidals, the Cerrones, the guys that are a little too, small for welterweight. And 5 pounds doesn't seem like much of a difference, but it is, because there's going to be some guys going up to 175, some guys going down to 165, and so I think it makes it a little better for some of these guys. So I definitely like the idea of the 165-pound division. I'm just curious to see what it would do for those top contenders. But other than that, yeah, man, Ben Askren's making the case. Oh, this is where we need the goat sounds.
They have nice long ears.
Nope, we gotta rewind. We don't want to hear no talking. We need the goat sounds. You guys see why on your screen. Gegard Mousasi vs. Rafael Lovato Jr. is set for Bellator 214, or should I say Bellator GOAT 14. Yo, pause. No, seriously though. The fucking GOAT is booked, back in action. That GOAT sounds sick. Hey, that GOAT sounds like a goat. And whenever I see Mousasi, that's immediately the sounds that run through my head. It's immediately, like, I'll see like a Gegard Mousasi fucking headline, and I just... That's just how it happens. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And it's just Mousasi. It's just Mousasi. He's just the GOAT, guys. It's simple. Pound for pound, GOAT. However you want to call it, it's Mousasi. For me, Gegard Mousasi versus Rafael Lovato Jr. set for Bellator 214. Cannot wait. Sorry, Rafael Lovato Jr. and everyone else, but the jiu-jitsu's not going to work against the GOAT. I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, he's got a submissions chance. Rafael Lovato Jr. undefeated. Definitely worthy of this title shot over in Bellator. Submitting guys left and fucking right. Submitting talented submission artists. Rafael Lovato Jr. is definitely a talented fighter. But it takes more than a talented fighter to fuck with the GOAT. I'm sorry. It's kind of like, see, Tyron Woodley's not the GOAT, but it kind of reminds me of Maia versus Woodley. That was one-armed Woodley, right? And I'm not saying he's the GOAT. That's the only reason I don't like the comparison, is because Mousasi's the GOAT and Woodley's not. Well, not yet. You're definitely not with GSP and Mousasi in the conversation. And of course, Daniel Cormier. But either way, as far as the fight goes, that's what it reminds me of, because you definitely got the best active welterweight on the planet in Tyron Woodley, taking on a guy who's really got a submissions chance in Damian Maia. And that's what I feel here. Rafael Lovato Jr., I mean, he's not the Damian Maia of Bellator, but that's his game. He submits guys, and great jiu-jitsu, and he's undefeated as well. And Mousasi, though, I'm sorry, it's going to take a lot more than that. You're going to have to, you would need, like, fucking Renzo Gracie and Eddie Bravo to do the fusion dance to be able to submit Gegard Mousasi in an MMA fight. Am I going too far yet? No, but seriously, I mean, I don't have to stress the fact how fucking good Gegard Mousasi is. I've done it plenty of times. But boy, Bellator definitely looking to kick off 2019 with the bang. Salute to Sean Al-Shadi on the article. Let's check it out. It says, middleweight champion Gegard Mousasi is slated to defend his title January 26th in a featured bout, Bellator 214 against Rafael Lovato Jr. You guys, this is the same card. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Fedor and Bader are going to be on this card. And there's a lot of good fights on this card. It's a really stacked Bellator card. And I'm saying that because guess what? Also on that same night, I believe, is UFC 233 in Anaheim. Both Bellator and the UFC are going to be in California that day, competing against each other on Saturday. So it's going to be really kind of interesting to see how it goes. I mean, I believe we got Dillashaw versus Cejudo. I mean, the UFC's got a nice card as well on that evening. So I'm gonna have to like be dual boxing and shit, like looking left and right and watching both fights. You know what I'm saying, for the fight companion. That's probably how we'll do it. Gonna be tough, kinda, but we'll try and figure it out. It'll be a great time to have a second screen, but you know, we'll still be watching both fights. So definitely something I had to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Whenever I saw the GOAT, Mousasi. I mean, I kind of feel like he should legally change his name to like Gegard Mousasi. You know, like Goat Guard. That's got a better ring to it. Gegard Mousasi. I like it. I think it fits. Or Gegard Mousasi. Gegard Goat Saucy. Okay, you guys get the point. All right, so let's move on. My motherfucking dog. Perfect timing. Sugar Sean O'Malley. Looking at his suspension as a blessing in disguise, and hopes some aspects of USADA change. And we saw this with Junior Dos Santos as well. I believe it was JDS, or was it Fabricio Verdum? One of these guys spoke about how USADA just a little too strict. Like, you can literally pop for a trace amount. And now, are they too strict or are they too good? That's still to be determined. But honestly, I have a real hard time buying the Sean O'Malley on steroids, you know what I'm saying? And the reason is, it's not even because I'm biased, because I like him as a fighter. He doesn't look like a guy that's on steroids. Now, did he punch harder than Tyron Woodley? Fuck yeah. And that, maybe Woodley just had an off day. Or maybe, you know what I'm saying? I think they let him punch it like 20 times until he was best scorer. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, when these fighters pop for trace amounts, you know what I'm saying? It's just always skeptical. And on this one, man, I don't believe they were able to actually find that the caffeine pill was tainted or whatever. But either way, with these trace elements, it's always fucking, even with the Jon Jones situation. Like, even on this most recent one, it's his second failed drug test, but they're saying it was trace elements. Like, what was the quote that they said to Jon Jones? A grain of salt in an Olympic-sized pool or something like that. Like, that's like the levels we're talking about some of the times. And now, I'm not fucking educated enough on steroids to tell you, oh, that's exactly what a microdose is. I'm stupid enough to say, I've heard of microdosing. Isn't that a micro amount? But that's just me being a stupid, uneducated fan. But, so, one thing for Sean O'Malley, though, taking it very well. I know he's big on, like, reading those, you know, help books and shit, like the Four Agreements. If you ain't read that shit, that'll change your life. You know, books like that, Four Agreements, I'm sure he reads different ones and a lot of other shit. And those meditation podcasts and all of that type shit. So he's taking it very well. And also, he's making some pretty decent coin over there on the Twitch sphere. If you guys didn't listen to Luke Thomas's interview with Sean O'Malley, making about $4,500 a month off of Twitch. And people are quick to say, no, actually, I'm a Twitch professional. He doesn't make that much off of Twitch. Yeah, no shit. He's not making it from Twitch ads with 50 viewers. He's making it from his deals. He's got a partnership, I believe, with, like, if not Optic Gaming, I think it might be Optic Gaming. He's got a partnership with these guys. He's on, like, a professional team. So his exposure has gotten him that deal, which pays him to game and represent them as well. So it's not just the Twitch that's paying him that much money. It's his sponsorships as well. So people saw that number and they were like, it's impossible he's making that much money. No, actually he is. $4,500. Pretty decent living for I don't, is he a rookie? I mean, I guess he's only had what? No, he's had a couple fights in the UFC now. I don't know if maybe you still consider him a rookie. He's still pretty young. So, making some pretty decent coin even outside of fighting. And that's one thing that's super dope. And a lot of fighters, you know, of course, anybody would like to be able to do that, but it's not that easy. You know what I'm saying? So he also, another thing about it is this 6-month suspension. He recently got surgery. Literally, even if he didn't get the suspension, he would have been out 4 to 6 months regardless. 6-month suspension. He was already out 4 to 6 months for injury recovery. So as far as when he was going to be fighting, that doesn't really change anything. So now if you were looking at Sean O'Malley to become like one of the GOATs, he still could. But of course he'll have the knock against him like Jon Jones, even though a lot of people believe Jon Jones, you know, is both times. The first time was the dick pills and the second time was trace elements, the fucking size of a grain of salt in an Olympic sized swimming pool. So a lot of people still feel like Jon Jones is kind of innocent. And honestly, with this Sean O'Malley situation, it kind of makes me relook at the whole Jon Jones thing. Like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, because I don't know. It kind of makes me relook at it. Like, maybe there's something to it, because I never really got steroids. I mean, anybody, if you look at, you know, there's people that pass the eye test and there's people that don't. He's always someone that passed the eye test for me. But like I said, I'm just some stupid MMA fan that, you know, I'm not a steroid expert. So it's all good, you know, as far as when he's going to be fighting next 6 months. He's still, you know, making a living. He's not going to be out here struggling, looking for meals and shit like that. So now one thing is he's going to have to hope that he can still get back on the track. You can't be content and just rest on this Twitch sponsorship, because I believe, I would assume your partnership relies on your exposure, you know, to the UFC and the potential of your channel growth. So failed drug test or multiple failed drug tests in the UFC, if anything were to happen like that, like, you could lose sponsorships potentially, and then it would get bad. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully we'll be able to get back on the right track, and who knows, maybe the next 4 to 6 months there'll be a program change as far as USADA is concerned. I don't know, because that's what Sean O'Malley's calling for. This is what he had to say. He says, it sucks. I didn't do anything, so getting suspended at all, it sucks. And getting fined also sucks. It sucks getting in trouble for something I didn't do. 6 months, I wouldn't be able to fight within the next 6 months anyway, but within the next 3 to 4 months, because the suspension came the day of the test. September 5th, I just got surgery 3 weeks ago on my hip. So I'm going to be rehabbing that and hoping to return within the next 5 to 6 months. So as far as suspension goes from the athletic convention, 6 months, and then we've got to deal with USADA and figure that out. So I don't know. And honestly, if you listen to Sean O'Malley, he doesn't sound like someone that was talking to a team, like a PR team. They're telling him what to say, like, to avoid incriminating himself. He just sounds like someone that legit got mixed up with. He don't know how this shit happened. Like, yeah, it sucks I'm suspended because I know I didn't do shit, but I mean, I'm taking it in stride. You know what I'm saying? Hit the bong, throw on the Fortnite, and hope this shit gets better. You know, like, you can't stress over some shit that's already happened. You can't cry over spilt milk. It happened. We're here. One of these fucking stupid-ass caffeine pills or supplements was slipping, and we can't find what it was. So, either way, he says, my lawyers are working on it and trying to figure it out. We still got to test a bunch of supplements. I tested positive for 0.08 nanograms, which is a very small amount. They're confident. UFC knows I didn't take anything. They know it's a tainted supplement. I think USADA knows that. I think the Athletic Commission knows that. This isn't a rare thing. It's common. It happens especially with the stuff that I tested for, which is Askren. It's in a lot of stuff. I think my fans really have my back, and it does bother me when I read stuff online and people say you cheater when I didn't do anything. And I know those guys are just haters and they're trying to get a rise out of me or whatever it is. But it sucks hearing that from people because I really didn't do anything. It just is what it is. Hell yeah, man. Fucking, yes, sir. I mean, you can imagine. And that's crazy, man. I don't know, because as a fan, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you really can't connect these things because you don't know what goes into those punching machines and how many times they do the take and if Tyron Woodley punched it with his bad shoulder and shit like that. But that's not a good look. You know what I'm saying? Like, punching harder than Tyron Woodley. But I do, every other thing, I feel like he's innocent. Every other thing. That's the only thing that I'm like, my nigga punched harder than Woodley. But everything else, I'm like, he doesn't sound like anyone that's guilty at all. He's just coming off the cuff, like when the question is asked. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. He said, Jeff Nowitzki, when he called me that day, I sent him all my supplements, and he said, I have a strong feeling it's those caffeine pills. So those were the only things we sent in because he was sure it was those, and it ended up not being those. So we just sent in all of my other supplements last week, and those take a couple weeks to get back, so I'm just patiently waiting. My lawyer's helping me a ton. Jeff Nowitzki's helping me a ton. The UFC's helping me a ton, so it's just a waiting game right now. But really, it doesn't matter. It's just I'm recovering from this hip injury, and I'm going to be back in the octagon, back in the gym. I have a fire in me. I want to train. I haven't been healthy. Going into the last fight, October, when I was supposed to fight El Teco, I wasn't healthy. I needed this hip surgery. My foot wasn't healed. So it's a blessing in disguise. I'm healing up from a bunch of injuries, and I'm excited to come back. Hell yeah. That's a fucking great way to look at it. And honestly, that was one of my concerns going into the El Teco fight. I heard him on his YouTube channel and just even in interviews, in the interview I did with him. He talked about how he was considering getting that surgery, and then once he found the opportunity to be on one of the biggest fight cards of the year, McGregor versus Khabib, you got to take that. So instead, he decided to go with physical therapy and to take the fight. So he wasn't going to get the surgery, which, if you had more time, would have been ideal. So now he's got time for the surgery, so it is a blessing in disguise for sure. Now, with that being said, we got Johnny Walker. Oh, shit. This dude is dangerous. Dangerous. Johnny Walker, Brazilian fighter. It's funny because already, you know, we made the joke that how funny roll call would have been. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're in like a Brazilian classroom and they're like reading the names, and then you come in like Johnny Walker. What the fuck? But now, I didn't even recognize he didn't wear the Brazilian fight kit, honestly. I seen he was the #1 light heavyweight Brazilian prospect, but I didn't even see what fight kit he wore. But I guess he wore the UK kit, actually, so he's explaining that. He said, I hope someone sees me now because no one saw me before. There was no social media post about me, no Instagram photos. People were talking about Roundtree only. And now I think someone can see me. Invest in me, guys. I'm here. I got here without any support. So imagine if I had it. And there are many more like me with no opportunity. That's what's lacking. People humble enough to look at the future inside of everyone, but nobody else does. Winner of his last 7 fights, including a decision over Luis Enrique. Okay, he says, as far as who's supporting him and backing him, you know, he said it's not businessmen, it's just regular people, family men who help me out, send me money, find gyms for me to train. We can't get support from businessmen in Brazil. Regular people in England support me every day, and that's why I stay there. I'm a patriot, man. I love Brazil, but Brazil doesn't help me. I can't stay in Brazil to train. Wherever I am, any country, United States, China, if the doors are open for me, I'll carry their flag. Any country that helps me, I'll carry their flag. That's how it works. I got to show who's supporting me. So, yeah, I didn't even recognize that. But that's pretty dope. I mean, I never even thought about that. So, I mean, this could be like somebody, well, I don't know. I was going to say like, you know, like wear like a different fight kit every time he walks out. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, interesting. I didn't even recognize that watching the fights. And then after the fights, I definitely wasn't thinking about no goddamn fight, kid. I'm thinking about how good the potential on this young man. Are you kidding me? Let's pull him up. I think he's only like 26 fucking years old. And we've seen some great performances. Alexander Raychick, like, we've seen some light heavyweights coming up. But I can't think of no fucking performance that made me fucking threw somebody on my radar as heavy as this guy. Like, this dude seems to be a problem coming up in this light heavyweight fucking division, dude. Johnny Walker, MMA. Let's see. He's only 26 years old. 6'5", 6'6". I seen 6'3", but he's definitely 6'5" or 6'6". He was the tallest fucking there. Only 26. Dangerous as they get. Whoo, Daniel Cormier, he's gonna be out of there before he has to deal with these problems. But I mean, Anthony Smith, Jon Jones, like, there's a lot of light heavyweights up there. They gotta be careful, because somebody is on the prowl. Now, he's still not even in, and of course, I'm talking about in the future. Don't get it fucked up. Don't get it fucked up. I'm not talking about Jon Jones. Johnny Walker's coming for you tomorrow. I'm saying the future. This kid's only 26 years old. In 2 or 3 years, I mean, it could come sooner than that as far as how far he gets fast-tracked, but I'm saying in 2 or 3 years, this guy could be a champion. I mean, how old is Jon Jones? Like 35-ish? I'm saying when this guy's like 28, 29, Jon Jones like 37, 38. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that, that's what I'm talking about. This kid is a problem for the future, and he seems like a problem right now. I mean, that performance over Khalil Roundtree was pretty phenomenal. Now, Khalil Roundtree wasn't ranked but still a very talented fighter. Maybe throw him a guy in the top 15. Yo, if you're in the top 15, you better motherfucking figure something out quick. Plan a vacation, plan a fucking wedding. You need to, I'm telling you, start planning your excuses now. Can we still go to even see UFC rankings on the new website? I don't know if we can. Athletes rankings. There we go. Where's the light heavyweight? Oh shit, look at AKA. They got 2 fighters, number 1 and number 2, pound for pound on the planet. DC and his teammate Khabib, number 1 and 2. They threw Jon Jones back at number 3. He's back. TJ at number 4. Yo, I like these rankings. What's going on here? We got TJ up at 4. Okay. Max Holloway at 5. GSP coming in at 6. Woodley 7. McGregor 8. Miocic 9. Cejudo, Cyborg 10, 11. Okay, we need to see light heavyweight. All right, where we at? Top 10, top 15. Let's see. So, coming in at 15, we got Nikita Krylov. 14, Tyson Pedro. 13, Shogun. Don't do that to Shogun. 12, Misha Serkinov. Did he just fight? I could see like Johnny Walker versus Misha Serkinov, or even Johnny Walker versus Nikita Krylov. I don't want to do that to my boy Tyson Pedro or Mauricio Rua. I just don't do that to my guys. Like, I want to see them, you know what I'm saying? This is not the time. Let's see. Okay. So, his last fight was, wait, the hell? Yeah, in October. So, you just won recently. Boom. First round submission, too. We got one, boys. I don't know when. Sometime soon, right? They both won in the first round. Serkinov versus Johnny Walker. I'm all in. Let's see what we got here. Matchmaker full-time at the end of the show. We got, what, one more thing to talk about, then we'll pull up the chat and we're going to get out of here. I got some work today, but no work for the next few days. Of course, Thanksgiving coming up, so we'll have a lot more time to get some panels and shit in and stuff this week because I don't have work Wednesday through Friday. So after today, back more in the swing of things. All right, so, oh yeah, we talked about this at the beginning of the show. One championship going down this Friday. Brandon Vera intends to finish Mauro Cinelli. Here's the card. 2 great fights so far, according to somebody in the chat earlier was putting this on game. Who was it, Pinhead, or was it Mr. Perfect? They were saying these 2 fights, definitely looking forward to. Marlon Vera looking to defend his welterweight title at 1 against Marlon Cirilli. Edward Follier taking on Amir Khan, lightweight title fight, I believe. Card still might be filling out, though. It's this Friday, so maybe the rest of the fight card will be announced. Or maybe it is announced, just not on this website. Who knows? But either way, let's pull up the chat before we get out of here. Chop it up with the full-time family. And then we'll be out of your hair. All right. Wait, what the hell is that going over there for? There, that's what we're doing. Yosa L says, I've been on boxing, bruh. Ain't it, though? He said, African gonna break change, old dude. Bob Cratch says, respectable young man, irritates me when born and raised Americans that have never left American soil come out with flags of other countries for their fights. Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely see him taking some heat, you know, especially from Brazil. You see the whole Cyborg versus Nunes thing going on, you know, how they're saying she's a creonche, somebody that takes their skills they learned in Brazil and they, like, well, they go to another country and take on the other country. So he might get some heat from Brazil, but maybe they'll come around to him if he, you know, just keeps fucking people up. How can you deny him? But who knows? Maybe he gets called a creonche. Nicholas Moss says, I don't understand why they're getting rid of flyweight division but have championship fight at UFC 233. TJ Dillashaw said, they're paying me a lot of money to go down and put a cap on the flyweight division. When he said it like that, I was like, yo, those are fighting words. And make sure you guys, like the anti-bagel bot says, don't be a baby back bagel biting bitch boy. Do your boy a favor, definitely, before we get out of here, and smash the thumbs up button like your middle name is Khabib. It'd be much appreciated. Salute to the Wrench Gang. Leon Dubson in the building. Nicholas Moss said, did anyone hear about Kane versus Stipe fight being rumored next year? No, but let's check that out. I mean, that would definitely be a great fight. Potentially #1 contender fight once DC gets out the way. Of course, if Cain Velasquez beats Stipe and DC's the champion, we got a little bit of a pickle, but hey, it could very well happen. But Stipe could beat that. I'm definitely down for that. Let's check it out. Cain, or let's just do like Miocic versus Velasquez. Let's go to news. Rumor mill. Here's a rumor. Ba-boom. Let's check it out. Rumor mill. Stipe Miocic and Cain Velasquez set to square off. What's the story? And this is from sportskita.com. Annie Benadari G. Definitely want to give them credit. What's the story? According to several rumors on social media, UFC could be set for a big fight in coming months. The UFC heavyweight title scene in the UFC is somewhat of a flux. While Daniel Cormier is a champion at this point, his possible retirement in March might open up the title picture completely. According to rumors, UFC could be working toward a fight between Stipe Miocic and Cain Velasquez in the coming months. Just in case you didn't know, okay, we know about Cain. Heart of the matter, if the rumors are true, Cain Velasquez could soon be set to return to UFC fighting against the #1 ranked heavyweight title holder. What? Oh, after Daniel Cormier. I was like, what? Against Daniel Cormier? Okay, after Stipe Miocic. So they're saying he could be set. Here it is. It says, per multiple sources, UFC looking to book Miocic versus Velasquez. Who you got? These people got pretty decent following. Let's check them out. Like, it's just a rumor, of course, But, I mean, it'd definitely be a good fight. Definitely would love to see Cain Velasquez coming back to the UFC, you know, definitely over the WWE, which his Instagram has been pointing toward. But, yeah, let's see. I mean, yeah, they seem to only be reporting some legit stuff. I wonder where, I wonder where this, yeah. First place I saw that, but yeah, interesting. We will see. That would be a great fight. That's low-key like a title fight. Like, Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Cormier is more of an exhibition fight. This is legit two of the best heavyweights in the world right here that could be squaring off if this fight does happen. This is pretty much a title fight that could be happening, just not for the title. You take the belt off the line. I mean, these guys are for sure two of the best in the world. Hell yeah. Given Churning's about to start cooking for Thanksgiving. Yo, happy holidays to everybody too, man. Thanksgiving a couple days away. Everybody that celebrates. I know everyone doesn't celebrate. We got a lot of listeners from a lot of different places, but definitely a great time of the year. Bob Cratchit says Cormier exposed Stipe. Everyone knows he's susceptible to a right hook after you gouge his eyes multiple times. Definitely exposed. No, that's fucking hilarious. Off topic, says Talk Palma. Is there any news on Nico Montano? Not any news that let's see. No, but one thing I did find interesting was one of the last things I heard from Nico Montano. Let's see if we can get any Nico Montano news for you. Nico Montano news. No. No news on Nico Montano. But I do remember one of the last things she was saying was, you know, how it was unfortunate she was being stripped. She disagreed with it and all of that. But she was going to be staying ready just in case Antonina Shevchenko's opponent pulled out. She'd be ready to step in. Just so happened Antonina Shevchenko's opponent pulled out. And still no Nico Montano news. So that was interesting. But yeah, no, haven't heard anything other than that. Valentina Shevchenko is going to be fighting Joanna at UFC 231 for the title, of course. Mr. Perfect, hey, full-time, you ever have a chance to check out the coach's take on domestic violence situation with Rachel? Which one? No, but I've heard it. I think I heard part of it on the live stream. I haven't seen, like, the newest video that I seen something about. No, I haven't got to yet. I was going to get to it before the show, but I didn't have time. But, I mean, on that whole situation, I thought we had news on that. How didn't we cover that on the show? I thought there was news on that. Something was said on that. Yeah, we didn't cover all of the news. There was something else right here. Yeah, I thought we had something on that. Management released a statement about the Rachael Ostovich assault. But I know coach's situation take on that. You know, it just men definitely, you know what I'm saying? It's the right take that everyone has. You know, men don't hit fucking women. You know what I'm saying? And I completely agree with everything that logic. I'm just, you know, always, and I don't know if it's a flaw or not, I'm just always a guy that's like, we don't know the full story, of course. You know what I'm saying? And it's never okay to just hit a woman. I don't give a damn if she cheated on you with fucking two dudes. Leave her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a fuck if she sent you a picture of the shit. You know what I'm saying? And did you dirty. You leave her. Now, my thing is, we don't know the full situation. And that's just all I'm waiting on. We don't know if, you know, she's a fighter. We don't know if she fucking, and either way, with a broken orbital, there's no excuse. Like, now that's where this one is way out of line. There's no fuck ever, like, that's unfathomable. I just, you know, I was also pointing out, you know, on my take, my thoughts are, you know, we see this, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's common because I don't want to put that rap on MMA, but I mean, we see coming up, we got a fight between Andrea KGB Lee and Jessica Rose Clark. And both of those girls have recently went through their own domestic violence spats, and here it is again. And I mean, we could kind of go. It's unfortunate that it happens. You know what I'm saying? And it's went overboard a couple of times. A broken orbital on fucking. That's overdoing it completely. Now, still, it's always a situation of, until you know the full story, me personally, until I know the full story, I'm not going to completely convict or judge anybody. This seems very bad. This motherfucker, and that's why this topic is actually right after Johnny Walker. It seems like we need to get this dude, and see, I don't know the full story. That's why I'm not quick to speak on it. Whoever did this, if they were out of line, let's see that motherfucker in a cage with Johnny Walker. That's what I want to see. Johnny motherfucking Walker. If it was her boyfriend, husband, I think that's who it is. It's a domestic situation. I don't know their situation. I don't know if their husband, either way. Broken fucking orbital bone, that's bullshit. Beyond bullshit. And that's why I'm saying that motherfucker out of line, get him in there with Johnny Walker. Now, that's what I want to see. I want to see you in there with fucking Johnny Walker. Now, there's the 1% chance, and maybe you shouldn't even entertain it, but I don't know. I'm just not quick to judge anybody. I know maybe, a lot of people are. But, and not even just judging them. If you did this, you're a piece of shit. But what I'm saying is I'm not quick to assume either. Like, I don't know if fucking her being a fighter, I know there's a lot of shit that goes on. What if she fucking, some crazy shit happened and it was like a reflex and he hit too hard? Like, maybe he's just, I don't know him. Maybe he's on fucking steroids. Maybe he's jacked. Maybe he fucking, it seems to be overkill, and it seems like this motherfucker needs to be put under the jail and thrown in there with Johnny Walker. That's what it seems like. But until we get the details, I just don't go overboard. Now, once we get the details, I'm with everybody else. You know what I'm saying? It seems real fucking bad here. It seems real bad, and it actually seems worse. It's seeming like this motherfucker definitely needs to be in jail. And another thing that happens, right? A lot of the times in these situations, a chick will go back to the dude. But that's just another conversation that I'm not trying to get into. You know what I'm saying? That's really not what this is for. It's kind of, like we could go into a 20-minute psychological conversation, but it's kind of like the Eminem thing we did yesterday. We'd be way off topic and, talk about shit you've seen personally and how sometimes you just never know how shit's going down. Somebody might have a fucking knife out. You know what I'm saying? Shit gets real. Somebody could have a fucking pull out a weapon. Like, shit gets so real beyond. So to just look at any situation from the outside and to judge anybody before you have all the facts, I just think it's a little premature, and I just don't usually do that, without the facts. Now, once the facts comes out, I'm fucking all the way there. Put him in there with Johnny Walker. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Johnny motherfucking Walker. Get him in there. Fuck it. Johnny Walker and Gegard. You know what I'm saying? Get Gegard in there. Gotta get some Gegard. Get him in there with Gegard. But yeah, so that definitely a super shitty situation. But they released a statement. But I wanted to say this. It wasn't a website. I think it was on Twitter. Someone posted a tweet. I don't know the dude's name even. I think it was probably her boyfriend. We'll just go with the information we do have. Her significant other, boyfriend, husband. So somebody was posting like on his page and was like, yo, this better not have been you that did this. Somebody else said something. Somebody said just something about, was she cheating, and somebody was like, it doesn't matter if she's cheating. And I completely agree. Even if your girl is fucking cheating, that you don't fucking hit a chick for cheating. You leave a chick. You know what I'm saying? That's so fucking, that's bullshit. And that's what happens a lot of times. Jealous, insecure dudes will fucking like beat a chick. And that's what happens a lot of the time. And those are the motherfuckers that need to get in there with Johnny Walker and Gegard. But this is the crazy shit. Somebody, or he supposedly liked that comment. Was she cheating or something? Like, the dude supposedly liked that comment. And so, that still doesn't give you all the facts, but it makes it look worse. Like, so what, you did this shit? You broke her fucking orbital bone because she potentially cheated? Like, nigga, it's 2018. Good luck. You know what I'm saying? Especially a chick like Rachael Ostovich. Like, you know what I'm saying? Good fucking luck, dog. I don't know who you thought you were. Johnny Walker? Back to Johnny Walker. But yeah, super shitty situation, man. Given Surname said they need a new bully beatdown. Man, they need a domestic violence fucking Johnny Walker Gegard show. Like, you know what I'm saying? Domestic abusers versus Johnny Walker. I'll take that show. That's a show. Domestic abusers versus Johnny Walker. Given Surname said Derek Lewis is the new host of Bully Beatdown. fuck that. Johnny Walker, Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis is a good one, too. Put him in there with Derek Lewis, Johnny Walker. You got to throw some Gegard. He said, that is a horrible sound. You should put it as your super chat notification. Yo, that's Gegard. I might do that. That's so funny. So yeah, man, super shitty situation. So I thought that was all the news we had. I guess we skipped over one thing. What do we have else? Oh yeah, Manny Pacquiao too. 2 more things to talk about. So I'm actually glad you brought that up, because it reminded me, wait, didn't we have more things to talk about? One CEO believes more MMA trades will come soon, and this is super dope, man. I mean, one in the UFC kicked it off. I can't fucking wait for more trades to happen, because it's not just little trades. It's not just, like we just saw, probably one's best asset in Ben Askren being traded for one of the greatest fighters of all time. That's a major trade. I mean, you can have trades at all sorts of different levels. We've seen one of the Pitbull brothers talking about, seeing his brother get an opportunity to fight in the UFC, potentially trading him for an Aldo. Like, so much possibilities, but that's just between UFC and Bellator. There's more trades that can happen between one and UFC, or one and Bellator, which, honestly, just one of the first ones that comes to my mind, like fucking Eddie Alvarez. He just got signed by one. I don't know who they would have. No. Like, what if they could get... they wouldn't trade Demetrius Johnson, but I'm saying, like, I don't know who one could have, but I'm sure they would love to acquire Michael Chandler. You know what I'm saying? Then they would have Eddie Alvarez and Chandler for the trilogy that we've all want to see. That's a fight everybody would have to stay up until 4 or 5 in the morning for, and if not, you definitely better catch that shit on replay. Alvarez versus Chandler in one, like, but I don't know who they would have for the trade. We see Brandon Ferris fighting, maybe, like, and I was thinking, like, real shit, now that Ben Askren's gone, oh, okay, maybe, like, that chick they got, they probably wouldn't trade her. You guys know Angela Lee, Unstoppable Lee. Who else they got? Demetrius Johnson. But I was thinking, oh shit, could Bellator make a trade for Demetrius Johnson? Wouldn't that be fucking wild? What could Bellator give up? They've got some value. They could give up, like, Michael Chandler. They ain't gonna give up, like, a Gegard. But, they got a lot of fucking guys. Bellator has got a lot of valuable guys. They could give up, like, a Eddie Alvarez and, like, a Fedor. I'm just saying, like, they gotta give up 3 big pieces for Demetrius Johnson. I'm just saying, we could see Demetrius in Bellator. We could see Eddie Alvarez he's already in one. We could see a lot of shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So, just super dope with these potential trades. One last thing. Manny Pacquiao set for January return. Manny Pacquiao is set to fight Adrian Broner. I low-key saw the press conference. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? It was pretty fun, though. Adrian Broner, interesting guy, man. Adrian Broner versus Manny Pacquiao, though. I was a little curious. At first I was hearing about Pacquiao and Mayweather, seeing the little meeting they had in, like, Bangkok or Shanghai. I don't know exactly where it was. But in the little club, and it seemed like they were potentially agreeing to a rematch there. But now, since Mayweather seems to be squaring off against Tenshin Nasukawa, baby Pacquiao is going a different route, and he's taking on a fight with Adrian Broner. So that'll be a fight I'm interested in. Pacquiao, I don't know what he's got left. I know he's one of the best boxers ever. I mean, as a casual boxing fan, so I've heard about Adrian Broner. He's the younger dude. Well, I mean, Manny Pacquiao's a little older, so I don't know. I'm interested in this fight. Manny Pacquiao could win. Adrian Broner seems like a little bit of a knucklehead. Interesting fight, though. Definitely one of the big fights that I'll actually be tuning into, like a Wilder versus Fury, right? I'm actually a casual boxing fan now. See what MMA has done for me? Actually what YouTube's done for me as a channel. Like, even as an MMA fan back in the day, I wasn't really fucking watching boxing, but since I've been YouTubing and shit. And, you know, I guess a lot of you guys and the family are boxing fans, and a lot of the MMA, UFC crossover, you know what I'm saying? Just keeping up with the news. So, low-key becoming a casual boxing fan over here. Bellator doesn't have 125, do they? Says given your name. No, they don't. I mean, I wonder if they would open one up for Demetrius Johnson. You know what I'm saying? It's potential. There's a lot of guys they could probably sign out there. But yeah, I think Demetrius Johnson's a way better fit for one. But I'm just thinking of, you know, who could Bellator want from one for some potential trades? Because I don't think they have a women's atomweight, and I think that's where Angela Lee fights too. I was just trying to think of who could they potentially give up for Michael Chandler, and I don't know who. And so the only guy I could think of, and maybe they do got some like Asian talent or something. Bellator's got their eye on. They might like to get their hands on. That we don't know about. You know, so there could be some talented dudes and one we just don't know about Bellator could want. But I'm just thinking of who could they want for a potential big trade, and Demetrius Johnson's one of the only names that pops out for me. But I was thinking clearly you can't just trade Chandler for Johnson. You'd have to add some value to that. So, interesting there. So yeah, man, Manny Pacquiao set January return. That's just a couple months away. Taking on Adrian Broner. Pat gonna catch old Broner. Says Jose L. Al Heyman don't get undercut. Conor box Khabib will be good to see. Hell yeah, man. I guess we'll finish the show. I'll talk about that real quick again because I actually really like that idea. I'm not going to re-talk about it, but just finishing thoughts. Khabib versus McGregor in boxing would be super interesting. I mean, I think McGregor would probably piece him up for sure in a boxing match because, like I said, he wouldn't have the threat of a takedown. He wouldn't have to keep his hands as low as he would in an MMA fight. It changes things up a lot. But where it gets really interesting is if it's a 12-round boxing match. What if McGregor gets tired in like the 10th round and Khabib's still got gas, and then even though he's probably down on the scorecards, could he get a finish in the 10th or 12th round? Like, that's where this fight really gets interesting as well. So, super dope in boxing. With that being said, man, that's pretty much it for the show today. We'll be back tomorrow and for the rest of the week for sure. Don't have any work, but I got to get to work a little later today. Try and be on time again like yesterday, man. I made myself proud. Talk Palmer says Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence would have been cool to see Mikey make a deal with Dana White and Zuffa Boxing. Yes, sir. Hola, full time from Melbourne, 5:30 a.m. Top of the morning to you, Exist BMX. We're just about to get out of here, man, but you guys can, of course, check out the recap of the show, So, yeah, man. With that being said, salute to the family. Make sure if you haven't, you smash that like button. Be much appreciated. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. We out.